Hopefully everyone had a great Thanksgiving, ate some good quality food. Now let me show you how to put it to use. Here's what we're gonna do to put all that good food to use. So we're gonna do a pump day, and it's gonna comprise of back, chest, and shoulders. And what I wanna do here is, just like any other pump day, or if you've ever done the Gamma Bomb program from Mountain Dog, then you know what that's gonna look like. We're gonna do roughly 3 to 4 exercises per body part, and then we're gonna do all high volume. Everything's gonna be pretty hard, but nothing like crazy to failure. We're looking for a lot of volume, big pump, and really burning a ton of calories today. Starting here with some straight arm pull downs, my intention when I began this exercise was just simply get warmed up. Like do my shoulders, get a slight pump in my lats, but honestly, these felt so freaking good that I just stuck with them for 4 sets. Ended up doing a drop set on the last one. So again, these stirrup handles that you'll see me use multiple times, I just love it. It's free flowing. It really is able to trash those lats. And again, I wasn't intending to do this as a working exercise, but they just felt so damn good, why not? Second exercise, using the prime attachment and some D handles. All I'm doing here is a lat pull down that's chest supported. So the main takeaways with this exercise that I really want you guys to focus on is keeping a neutral spine, 0 arch, meaning not arching into mid to low back. So neutral spine, driving those handles down, and what I'm thinking about is taking my elbows towards my pockets. On my work sets, I did 2 really hard sets here of 8 to 12, and I'm just thinking about just driving those hands down, trying to squeeze my lats as hard as possible. First rowing exercise of the day here is going to be the 1-arm barbell row, John Meadows special. I started with just 1 quarter and then built all the way up to 4. 4 felt so good after hitting 8, I wanted to strip 2 quarters and go for another 8 just to really squeeze those lats. This is one of my favorite back exercises, and as you'll notice a theme for my back, I prefer to do unilateral exercises. So the more I can get a single lat isolated, since it's a weakness for me, it allows me to focus on that muscle even more. Last back exercise of the day here is going to be the side bends machine row with a neutral grip. Nothing fancy here. All I'm thinking about is driving my elbows down and back, and I'm doing set of a 12, set of 10, set of 8, and I'm trying to hold a 3 count with every single rep. So not 3 seconds, but just 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, and just trying to get my lats as pumped as possible before moving on to the chest. For majority of my pump chest days, I tend to like to start with some sort of flying motion to really pre-exhaust my pecs. I was doing sets of 12 to 15 on the high cable crossover here today, trying to get a decent stretch. Not crazy at this point because my pecs really aren't warmed up. But what I want to think about here is nailing the contraction every single time. As much squeeze and as hard of a contraction I get on every single one of these reps. I end up doing 3 sets here before moving on to a chest pressing superset. The plan today was to do Smith machine incline press for chest today, but what ended up happening is somebody was on it and I didn't feel like waiting. So off to hamstring incline. Again, another great exercise. All I want to do is really target the upper pecs here, get a good range of motion, but again, keeping all the tension on my chest so you notice I'm not locking any of these reps out and they're really all smooth and controlled. Then from there, right into a flat dumbbell hex press. I didn't use a lot of weight here. I just needed the 50s. Pushing these things together as hard as I can, both going together and then also pushing up to contract my chest. These are absolutely killer, do not take a lot of weight, and will really light your pecs up. And to finish off chest, all I needed was 1 set of a fly variation. I'm doing a moderate incline here, and then if you see how I have my body positioned at the top of that bench, I actually like to drape the back of my head off of it. I don't know why, it just feels good to me. So give it a shot, see what you think. Again, coming out, good stretch, pause in the hole, and then come up to roughly 1 and 11 on the clock. Not all the way together because I still want to keep pinching on those pecs. Not really overly concerned about the contraction here, if I'm being honest. All I want is a big, big stretch. By this point, I need 0 warm up for shoulders. It's just right into a death set here of hanging swings. So what I'm doing this technique, I want to pay a bunch of attention to the form first, and then I'll get into the specifics of the set. But with the form, I'm toward the top of that incline bench that I just got done doing flies on. I'm kind of wrapping my chest and shoulders around it. And if you notice, if you watch my traps, they're doing almost nothing. That's 100% rear delt. And arms are always straight. I'm just taking it out to my sides as far as possible without getting any of my upper back into that. And then again, trying not to let the dumbbells clank together. I hit them a couple times, obviously because we're doing 100 reps. But look at that technique. I know it doesn't look like a huge range of motion, but it works. So if you want big round cap shoulders, you gotta do this kind of stuff. You have to perfect the form. Now, let's get into the specifics of what we did today. I have the 50s and I need to use 60 reps. After that, I cut the weight in half to 25s. I hit 30 reps with the 25s. And then lastly, I dropped to 12. And on this one, I actually take a pronated grip and I try to get as many rear dumbbell laterals as I can before, obviously, I think about 5 or 6, I start to fail. And again, then I just turn and start doing the partials again. So 100 total reps. This is brutal. It will burn like hell, but the goal is to keep going. If you notice, I did not stop one time. Now I moved fairly quickly between drops here. Not super fast, but at the same time, I didn't dick off any. So 100 total reps. On to some side delts. All I have here is set up on a dual cable is some 2 stirrup handles, and I hook my wrists into that almost like you would hook into a wrist strap. And then I'm just doing side laterals, trying to take my hands up and my elbows up to where they're in line with my shoulder. So 15 reps here. Again, trying to hit the contraction. This last exercise that I did was more about just constant tension with the hanging swings, and this was about perfect reps, nailing the contraction on every rep. Final thing for shoulders. I'm gonna do a superset of dumbbell front raises and some spider crawls. So let's talk about the front raises first. If you notice, I have my hips slid forward on that military bench, and that's so that I get a further and fuller range of motion and really get that stretch on my front delt. And then I'm just trying to bring those up to about my chin. As you can tell in the last set, I reached failure and I just hit a couple partials. But again, all front delt. I don't do a ton of front delt work, but 2 sets here, supersetted with spider crawls. Hook a short red band from Elite FTS around my wrist like I'm getting handcuffed, spread my hands apart as far as possible, and then I'm just walking up and down the wall. So as high as I can go, and then right down to around my waist. I did 3 passes there, and then on my second round of doing those, I did 10 pull-aparts, so very similar to trying to simulate like a pec deck or a band pull-apart, and that just trashed my shoulders. And that concludes a Black Friday back, chest, and shoulder workout. Tons of volume, tons of reps, massive pump.